2024 GMK Poetry Jam. We are going to have an amazing afternoon. We've got poets on the line right now. They're in Cali, but from Norway, in Serbia, in Arizona. Myself representing the 313. That's Detroit, baby, the original D. So we're just going to have some fun. If you guys would like to tune in, be a friend, tell a friend, share the link, and let's get into some poetry. Yes. Sure. Just mind me, anything you want to hear, anywhere you want me to go to open this.
Well, let's see. Event. Who did we say we were going to go to first?
I'd like to, if you let me.
Anna would be first, but I was asking you if there was anything you wanted me to do to open the show.
You know I always want you to do something. That goes without saying. I mean, you have a hot book off the press, Fly Coup, for you. So you want to pull something out of the Fly Coup so people get a little flavor of that, and then we're going to roll into the next one. If you have her bio.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
So
absolutely.
All right.
So here's a few Fly Coup from my most recent collection. Let's see. I don't have the book here with me. I'm gonna see if I can pull from them. Here's one of my favorites, and these are all based off one word from audience members. And I set up a 1955 Remington Writer typewriter, come up with a haiku, which is why I call it Fly Coup. Type it out, give it away as gifts or collect tips. And before I knew it, there were like 400 of them. So there's 125 in the book. I'm gonna pull a couple for you guys right now. And see if you can guess what the one word was.
Love.
Love and abundance will trump hate on any day. Make love great again. That's that piece. What could that word be? Anyone?
I thought love, no?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every time I sit down and bring out that typewriter, the word comes up. So I put love in everything that I do, love in everything that I move, love in the word, love in the street. And right now I'm going to show some love to Anna, bringing her to the microphone. Anna, let me make sure I pronounce your last name correct.
Ch, actually, Pantic.
Pantic.
Yes, that's right.
Is a poet and poetry filmmaker from Belgrade, Serbia, who graduated from Belgrade University's Faculty of Theology. She has written poems, short stories, screenplays, and recently penned her first novel. Her poetry films have been received and awarded at film festivals worldwide. She is an active performer at various poetry events in Belgrade. Her poems were published in the first Serbian collection of slam poetry, Te Bi U Lice. I'm going to say that Spanish-ish. I don't know if I got it right. As well as in several regional anthologies. Anna has also acted in many theatrical shows all around Serbia as a member of an independent theater group for about 10 years. And today she is here to share words with us. Y'all show some love for Anna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rose. Thank you, everyone, for having me today. As I've said, I'm just off-road representing the new collection, actually the anthology of Croatian and Serbian slam poetry. So this is something, the poem that I'm going to present today is actually the poem which is also released 2 days ago on YouTube. You can find it as a poetry film. So the name of the poem is Rustling. If you wish, I can just start. If not, we can chat. Okay.
Go ahead and start. We're ready.
All right. Rustling. I rustle through the concrete forest, leaves sticking, bills sticking, gums sticking to my shoes, rustling fast. The asphalt stretches my steps into missteps. Feeling hands with plastic bags, I nod, passing by, I greet, learned behavior. I mumble, I count 2 plus 4 plus 7. I count non-existing people. I round up, searching for a number sufficient for safety, a number resistant to oblivion, resistant to loss, resistant to leaving, resistant to betrayals. I'm rustling through the city. Buildings bend, the windows close, the hands are weak and heavy. Bags stretch them. Food is heavy, so is everything for cleaning. I'm rustling in a misstep. I mumble under my breath. I console myself. I pray. I hope. I rustle. Going further. The further, the better. The better, the more a certain burden. The certain number eluding. My ears are blocked. So is my nose. The air is heavy. Gray smoke. Nostrils, bad filters. I'm weak. I'm rustling. I look not to see. The aim is on the other side. The further, the better. The better, the sicker. I'm afraid. I don't blink. Eyelashes too heavy. Smog breaks them. Smoke gray. I squint and rustle. Leaves on the soul and the faces of surrenders. The weak ones surrendered. The lazy ones surrendered. It's not my fault. I'm rustling. Something's whistling. Irrelevant. I don't hear the alarm. I don't stop at red. I'm rustling. I'm scared. I'm afraid and I don't stop. I'm rustling. Koshava. Bony. My hair gets tangled in the poles. Containers. I'm fast. I mutter. I'm counting. I nod my head. I train my eyes not to see. I train my hands not to feel. I'm rustling. I'm not running away. I can't be caught. I mutter. I'm scared. It's cold. I'm rustling. I don't stop. I'm not asking and not getting. I'm not complaining. That's how it is. My shoes are heavy. Fallen leaves stick to the soles. I repeat. It's the same. I rush and get nowhere. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. That's it.
I couldn't take anymore. My stomach was rustling the whole time. I said,
I got chills all the way down to my like lower legs.
yes, exactly.
Very good.
You transported me to a forest. I just watched this really scary series, and you took me back there. I'm like, whoa, I'm rustling. Let me look
That's
around.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like whirling around in the wind and like a leaf.
Well, this
Yeah.
let everyone know this weekend is WrestleMania head.
That's
So we are wrestling. The whole city
Seriously? Oh, so it's kind of a prediction then,
That's right.
or something. Yes.
I see what you did there.
Oh,
Anything else you want to share with us?
Okay, maybe this one. I would like to say also that this was my first reading in English, so it wasn't bad that much.
what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Now what we say when I'm Pearl is we bust a cherry. So we busted a really good cherry with him.
Thanks. I'd like to share the video, so if you have some time or you would like to see it, I would be very thankful.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'd
this
love
one
to see that at some
actually.
point. Yes, please, please.
Thank you. Okay, so the other one is the poem, which actually came about very accidentally. It was when I was writing. I wanted to write a message to an Australian poetry filmmaker and Mary Craven. So it was during the COVID, and it was for that case written originally in English because it was supposed to be just a message, but somehow here we got a poem. Her name is Mary, and somehow I connected or found her name as a symbolic name in this difficult period time. Okay, so I'll try to read it now. Mary. Just a moment. Yes. Mary. Oh, Mary. What is going on with us? Tell me, Mary. You were burning in fires. We were drowning in lies. And there came a virus smacking our cries. Our cries, oh, Mary. Just for lives. People turned into figures. Figures into mist. I can't see, Mary. Help me. I can't help a being not being on a list. I have no power and need to make a step. I need to clench the fist. What for? Don't know. Mary. Oh, Mary. What is going on? What happened with the breath? Are we fish in a sink, preparing for death? I don't want to be lunch. Who knows who for? I don't. Is Earth our mother, Mary? Are we on her breast? Tell me, are we safe? Are we good children, Mary? If not, what we did wrong? There are beasts, Mary, beasts in the streets, thirsty beasts, sharpened teeth. What is wrong, Mary? Could you just tell me? That's it.
Yes.
And she paints such beautiful pictures with your words. It's like it draws you in and you
Yes.
feel like you're in the poem.
Yes.
Wow.
I was thinking
Dope.
the same thing. As I was listening to you, I said, no wonder why people are called spoken word artists, because it is more, you give life to the words, and like you said, she draws you in, and you just automatically start feeling it. Your body vibrates with it. That's, you truly, truly have a gift. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you something. Anna, you said this is the first time you're doing it in English. What other language do you do your poetry in?
Serbian. I'm from Serbia,
Yeah.
so this is my language, and then write in Serbian. Sometimes, I don't know, a poem just pops up like in English for some reasons. Like I'm writing a message and then it comes out that there is, let's say, material for, not material. This was, I mean, not changed much. I really write impulsively. So
She's
it's not
freezing.
that and I love improvisation. So I do improvise a lot in my work, let's say it. So, yeah, Serbian.
Is everybody frozen but me?
Yeah, I think she's not frozen on our end, Rose. If you can hear
Yeah,
us.
she's.
Yeah, not on my.
Yeah, I heard everything she said.
Oh, you have heard?
Yes, go
Yes.
ahead, Anna. Keep going.
Yeah. So if you hear, if you watch this video, or I don't know, maybe even some others, doesn't matter, you will hear my original language. And for example, rustling is more, for example, rustling in Serbian is šuštanje. And for example, forest is šuma. So we have sh. And it goes šuštim kroz šumu od betona. You understand? There is more sound in it. But I think in English it is also a good job somehow.
Yeah.
It seems from your reactions,
Yes.
I'm really more than pleased. So it's nice, a good opportunity. Really, I don't know if I would do it if there was no Rose's invitation and all of you here. Yeah.
Well, thank
right.
you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Intense.
You know
Very
what,
intense.
Rose, you know what? I'm sitting up here thinking, and the words have vibrations to them. And it doesn't, obviously, just in this example, it doesn't matter the language that it's done in when the vibration remains the same. It
Yeah,
may,
exactly.
right? It may sound different, but the vibration and the sentiment is exactly the same. So,
Yeah. The energy, the vibe, it vibrates higher and leans to an understanding. No matter if you understand the language, you understand the vibe.
yeah.
Especially when the vibe is good and how you actually bring it to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other
Yeah.
thing that I was thinking is like it's two things, Anna, you done brought a whole bunch. Um, and then I'm also thinking sometimes as I work with clients who speak different languages, I ask them to find the language that expresses their sentiment the best. And so, Anna, the fact that sometimes you're saying it comes down, it's downloaded to you in English, it may just be that's the language that enables you to express that particular sentiment the best.
Definitely, yes. But mostly it is about the situation, I would say.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I don't know. For example, I also speak Italian, so
Mhm.
it is also a very melodical
Mhm.
language. And I maybe have written something in Italian. So uh, I had maybe something. I said, oh, I don't know, maybe it's too much time. Like every language has something, particular on its own.
Mhm.
So I don't know. For me, for example, Italian is per godere. How shall we say? For pleasure. When you speak
Mhm.
it, you just feel pleasant to speak
Mhm.
it. So English is a kind of presentation. To
Yes.
me. All right. So I'm an English language teacher as well.
Okay.
So okay, this is I work with it, and Serbian somehow it's like for fighting. Like you have to show that you are cleverer. That you have something more. Maybe Spanish has something similar with Serbian with this sentiment. So yes, and I absolutely agree that we can feel poetry even though we don't understand maybe the language. The
Mhm.
Yeah.
sentiment is there, and
Mhm.
of course, if the performer is the good one, that's what it is. But yeah, listening to other languages is also something which really excites me. How can I say?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you.
you did that well, very well. Thank you so much for sharing. Where can we
Mhm.
Thank
find
you.
you on socials so that everyone here can connect with each other? There may be other opportunities that come up. Someone may be traveling and need to get a feature in another country, or who
Mhm.
knows?
Yes, that's right. I'm actually, Rose, going to Athens again in 10 days, on the same
Yeah, I
festival.
couldn't make it
Yes.
this year. I hope to be
Yeah.
back this year.
Yeah.
Anna,
That's great.
what's your social media for people to follow you?
Well, YouTube, that's it. I mean, on the Facebook, Instagram, it's not. I'm not that active, but poetry video you can find on YouTube. Anna Pantic. I don't know how. Anna, one N, Pantic. Maybe we can share somehow.
Okay.
Video
Mhm.
poetry. So
Absolutely.
that's, yes, something that we can write. Thank you so much. I'm really enjoying here. Yes.
Good.
You
Yes, thank you.
brought me back to life, as you know, like driving all the
Yes.
time and like visiting places. And last evening it was a show, slam poetry. So it was fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for
Yes,
sharing. Thank you for
thank
getting off the
you.
road and coming right on and sharing with us. You got our souls rustling. I'm
Mhm.
still rustling. There was something you said in that second piece, prize just for likes. Everyone who's on social media trying to get cloud, that really resonated with my whole
Mhm.
soul.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes, it's
Thank
the
that's
you.
truth.
brilliant.
It's
Thank
the
you.
truth.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Who we have up next? One single rose.
Up next, we have all the way from. If everyone could mute your microphone, and then we'll bring up our next performer. Coming all the way from, ooh, it's muy caliente. Every time I think about just the name of the state, I get hot because it's always hot there. Dom Root is a creative artist, music producer, and storyteller from Inglewood, California. He is the co-owner of the I Am Root lifestyle brand, and in 2014, he completed a BA in creative writing from Arizona State University with a minor in philosophy and ethics. In 2017, He received an AA from Mesa Community College in audio production technologies. Root is a published writer with 10 years of experience performing spoken word. His work can be found in online blogs and published in Rooted Reflections, a Black hair anthology, a collection of hair stories, trials, and triumphs. Yes, I'm quite familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Root most recently became a member of the Artist Investment Program, an invitation only pilot cohort program created by the Arizona Commission on the Arts to invest in the artists of Arizona who impact the communities the public agency serves. He lives in Tempe, Arizona. Everyone, show love for Dom. Root, get
Woo, woo,
planted.
woo, 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 woo,
You want it?
woo.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me out and bringing me on. I get really excited about poetry. Poetry has been something that has kind of grounded me. I was always a quiet kid, so my way of communication was always writing, and I was a lover raised by my mom, my aunt, my grandmother. So they, they brought me up the right way. So what I have prepared today is a poem that I have called Progress. I'm working on a project. It's called Identity Crisis, and it's a series of songs, instrumentals, poems that essentially are stream of consciousness. So for today, at least, this poem is called Progress, and I call it Progress mostly because I chat with a lot of artists in the community, and I feel like I give a lot of advice too at times. But I'm not great at like taking my own advice or being as kind to myself as I
Mm-hmm.
watch myself be to other artists as they navigate the terrain, and I find myself in these weird funks or whatever. So it's just working through it. It's fairly short, but yeah, here we go. It's probably true for us all that some days are better than others, and it be like that. Just a product of life. And sometimes I cry more than you think, and that's probably due to me being more present today than I ever used to be. Because I had the emotional intelligence of a child scorned, stuck in a survival mode that helped me navigate the outside. But in these times, I got to survive differently. So I feel a sense of relief, knowing that I could just process and release instead of conceal and move on. But with that in mind, I'm just a work in progress, and I trust in God through the process because I've hit a few walls, but yet and still, I'm not even close to being done yet. From the wins to the losses, life teaches us lessons we cannot evade, and I've endured the light, but even been burned by the shade, because in a way, darkness looms in us all, just a dormant shadow. But we veer on the side of caution to never fall victim to our own rage because all is fair in love and war. And it's crazy how we love going to war with the same people we've gone to war for. But for me, just know it starts with love.
Mm-hmm.
The war can be found here. It's the love that leads me to truth. And there I can be rational about the things I conclude. Like, was the cause of our demise really me, love? Or was it you? The other night I asked Google, what's the definition of abuse? Because I was already a grown man when I found out that grown men could be emotionally abused.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I thought we just got over it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know I'm a work in progress, but I trust in God through the process, and it's not perfect, and no one said it would be. So I'm trying to leave it better for the ones looking up, but I cannot be a well while holding an empty cup.
Mm.
I have to focus on myself and show up, knowing that I'm truly enough. But even with that said, I'm just making progress as a work in progress, walking by faith and aided by luck, knowing that one day my time on this earth will be up. And I'm just hoping that I feel fulfilled in the work I've done, just praying to the Lord above, hoping that was enough. Because like I said, I'm making progress. And this is love. And that's that piece. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Mm.
It's like an inner monologue.
Say it again, Hildy.
It's almost like an inner monologue, like we're
Mhm.
inside your head. Because it's, I love this like very intimate atmosphere of like, this kind of confessionalness. It's very beautiful.
Mhm.
It's pulling at my whole heartstring. I'm like, I'm all up through that whole piece. Like, how he know me like that? Don't know me like that. Wow.
He Deborah Coxed you. He Deborah Coxed
What you
you.
say?
I said he Deborah Coxed you. Say, how did he get here? Look.
Man, y'all just putting all the emotion into the word.
Mhm.
This is great feels today. Wow. Thanks,
Yes.
Dom.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Dom, we got some yeses with some a lot of E's and a lot of S's and some high fives coming from the YouTube side of life because I'm live streaming over there.
Oh, I love it. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Donna. I'm not sure who you are. Can you put your name in the chat? Let us know if we should be bringing you on stage.
Yes, and tell us where you're from. This is fantastic. Dom, you know what? I love how you opened up and you said, for today at least, I'm going to call this piece progress.
Mm.
And as soon
Yes.
as you said that, my ear said, oh, okay, let me see.
Absolutely. I love just growing with my work. I try not to overthink. I'm always a victim of analysis paralysis. Is this
Mhm.
perfect? Is this the thing? And I think I try to let a lot of that shine through and in my writing, in my work, that no, it's not perfect, or no, it's not necessarily complete. But I
Mhm.
think a lot of what we do in life, ends up that way, and not by our own decision. It's just the circumstance that we're in. We
Mhm.
can't just continue to force things. So yeah, progress. It might be something else later, once I dive deeper into it. But yeah, that's that one. I don't know if I'm able to do another. I
Please,
don't feel like I, should or anything. But if you guys are open
we
to it,
would we would love for you to do another. Please, please. Look
absolutely.
at
That's the
Rose's
one.
face looking at you. Look.
For sure. I appreciate it. This is amazing. I want to just say thank you again, Rose. You always throw me a look in little ways, in moments where I feel like I need to be doing more poetry, and I just say that to myself, and somehow I look and I got a message from you. It's just it's amazing how things work out that way. So,
Hmm.
this one is called Halfway. Again, still a part of that series, Identity Crisis, just navigating. I'm just here to make memories, taking the good with the bad, because I'm blessed to have experienced this path. I mean, what more could I ask? Born into the struggle, I chase my dreams off premonition. Against the odds, I take the moment and use it as ammunition. I find balance when the burdens hit. Take steps to protect my sanity and finding time to spend leisurely, and for the days that I remiss, it's just a flip of the mindset or a change of environment. And a terrible day can somehow become a little less terrible, because there's just as much love as there's just as much to love as there is to hate in this world. And one of the luxuries of life is I get to control what I consume, and I get to decide where to direct my focus. So when trouble knocks at your door, how will you approach it?
Hmm.
And that's that piece, Halfway.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
When trouble knocks at your door, how will you approach it?
Good.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's deep, because a lot of times we act before no we react before we think about how we're going to act.
Yes.
And that's a very, very profound statement that
Hmm.
it resonates, and we should start to think more
Hmm.
before just doing something.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Big time. I always work with my clients around responding versus reacting. Right? The reacting is the automatic, the without thinking. And so we have to train ourselves on how to respond. I love it. Brother Emoji, you were going to say, because I got a line in there that I want to pull apart. You go first, though.
I was gonna say, listen, I grew up in New York. Trouble knocking my door. I am not opening my door.
All right. I see Donna put in the chat. She said she's a published poet of Shadows through Black Door, available as an ebook, Amazon, percussionist, skincare, and fashion consultant. Well, welcome, Donna, rolling up in. So I wanna pull back this line that said, I get to control what I consume.
Mm.
Yes.
Baby, we can take that on so many spaces. I mean, we were out at dinner last night. I get to control what I consume. So-
For sure.
Who did you go to dinner with last night?
this handsome guy, you don't want to know about him. So, but I mean, we talked about social media, right? And scrolling, what you consume, news, just everything, what you choose to read. We get to control what we consume. So many times we take things in longer conversations. I was working with someone the other day and she said she was on the phone with somebody and she just couldn't take it anymore. And she said she just hung up the phone. She said she was laughing and she was watching herself hit the end button. But she was like,
I love it.
she said, but she couldn't take it anymore. Right. And I was like, that's the way that you control what you consume. So I love that. I love that. Other,
Man, thank you guys so much.
yeah.
So tell everyone about your Vent Poetry series, your YouTube channel, everything that you're doing for the artists and where we can find you. Because Dom is doing some amazing things and everyone should really be picking up what he's putting down because he is definitely supporting the arts in the most fantastic and wonderful way.
Absolutely, I appreciate those words. So we are the I Am Root brand. IAMROOT. It's basically an acronym for inspiring all of mankind by restoring often omitted traditions. And for us, at least, like its community is a big part of it, and just fellowship and just giving artists a place to feel seen, heard, and valued. Oftentimes, a lot of people coming up. You tell them, "Hey, I do poetry," and folks are, maybe not looking at it as respect it as you wish, or they saying, hey, focus more on this. Don't be a writer, or don't get into film, don't get into the arts more so, get into something more technical, right? And sure, maybe people can do that, but for us, we just want to create that community where artists can be artists. So that's just our bottom line and like kind of what we focus on. We have a YouTube channel and we host events. Pretty much they stem from poetry. Poetry is at our core, but we really connect with fashion designers, entrepreneurs, anyone in that space that needs that love. We have it to give 100%. So that's our little motto. To my left or right, depending on where you are, root for each other. So you may see that plant there, but we really push that in the community of just like rooting for folks and giving them that place. So online, it's at I Am Root Brand. So that's all of our social medias where you can find that. We have our Let Us Vent. It's a love poetry like contest series and like live event series where we have poets come out and they can really just vent, and it's a place for them to get those things off of their chest that maybe elsewhere they'd be looked at a little funny, right? So that just any range of poetry and discussion and topics, just a healthy space for artists to do that. And then for myself, I'm domroot.world. So that'll be my website, which has my portfolio of music and projects. So if you just punch that in, domroot.world, that'll take you to the site. But also on social media, you can follow me there too. That'll be my handle for all of my social medias as well.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much, Dom.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And Dom, please feel free to grab those links and put them in the chat. Okay, so that everybody can have access to them as well. And Anna, if you happen to find your video on YouTube, please put that link in the chat as well so we all can have access. Okay.
Yeah, Dom, I've got your stickers like everywhere. They're at work, they're on my laptop, the head, and the merch. Yeah.
No, I really appreciate your support over the time too.
Thank you. No, right back at you, and it goes around and comes around. That's what we should be doing.
That's it. That's the only way we make that's the only way we get going, right? Because that's a wheel. That's reciprocity. And if you ain't had that wheel of reciprocity, you just standing still. So, right, we gotta keep it flowing. Dom like, oh yeah, she deep. Yeah, Dom, I'm deep. Look, so
every time.
Rose, you want to give us a poem before we go to Hildy?
No, let's go to Hildy, and then I'll close out the show.
Okay, sounds.
Yeah, keep it moving because I don't think any of our other guests are going to chime in, so we've got a little time to listen to my darling Hildy, and learn about what's going on new with Pip and Kadaga.
Oh, yes. And Donna didn't put in her list that she's also one of our voiceover artists on Kadaga. She's part of that series as well.
Yes. Hey, can't wait.
Well, I'm excited. Do you want to do Hildy's bio for her and then we'll roll into her? All right, go for it.
Hildy, my darling, is an American-born Norwegian novelist, screenwriter, and poet. She has published 6 books in Norway in the genres of poetry, flash fiction, prose, and erotic fantasy, and has written screenplays for feature films and a TV series. For the feature film Handle with Care, she was nominated for the Amanda Award for Best Screenplay. Her novel, I Founded the United States, I never pronounced your last name correctly, Hildy, was nominated for 3 literary awards, including Norway's most prestigious award, the Break Prize. I bring to you Hildy Susan J.
Thank you so much. It's an amazing. You know, not even Norwegians can really get my name right, so don't worry about it.
We got to hear it though. What is it? This way we can have it on tape and we can practice.
It's Hilde Susan Jeknes. In English, in
Jeknes.
Norwegian would be Hilde Susan Jeknes.
Okay. Give it to Jeknes.
Jeknes.
Got it.
I have a problem with the rolling of the R's, the L's, and the Y's, so that's why I always say it wrong.
It's just fun. Thank you so much. It was a beautiful introduction. Thank you. And so much fun to see you again after our adventures in Kenya, where we were traveling around in buses, going to villages, doing performance and poetry. And I think I was playing the xylophone. And,
oh boy.
Yeah, and we went in safaris, and it was quite an adventurous trip, wasn't it? It was amazing.
It was amazing, and thank you for allowing me to play your instrument.
Of course. I mean, well, I trust certain people with my instrument, and you're one.
I appreciate the love. Always such great energy. We connected immediately when we met, and it's just been ongoing ever since.
Yes, and we play Word Feud daily, and you usually beat me. Once in a while when I beat you, I get very cocky.
Yeah, she does. And I'm like, oh, she got me. Yeah. It's all good. Come on, you got a few poems to share with us today?
I actually have one poem, which is it's a strange thing. I mean, I'm working on a novel in Norway. It's about European nationalism. It's a historical novel, but the reason I'm writing it's because, you know, for some reason, after World War II, I kind of thought everybody agreed that Hitler's project was really bad and Mussolini, and I thought we were all kind of agreed on that. And then for some reason, is this surge in nationalism in Europe today, even in Norway. And it's like, even in Germany, like, what's wrong? Did you not go a single day to school and hear that the idea of exclusive nationalism is just bad. So I started writing a novel about it, and it's a Norwegian composer who does this like kind of national romantic music in the beginning of the 20th century. She's following the legacy of her famous grandfather, Edward Grieg, you know, yeah. And he, and this was a thing with composers that they were expected to spout the glory of the nation. And she starts doing this, and she will go through this pretty wild time in Paris and in Copenhagen and in Norway. And then she stumbles into this project where she's writing an opera for Mussolini in Italy at like counting down the days to the Second World War. And then she goes through this belated sort of moral awakening, and she tries to stop World War II. Like this is very speculative fiction, but I wanted to put a Norwegian in the middle of all these events and just try to see, how can somebody be seduced by nationalism? How can they realize, you know, even if it's almost too late, that it's wrong? So in this sequence of the novel, she actually goes on a flight with Bruno Mussolini, who is the second son of Benito himself, who was an airline pilot, a fighter pilot in real life. And he actually died pretty young in a plane crash because he was test piloting this new plane, this warplane. And I tried to make this into a poem that is meant to be performed, that has rhythm and rhyme, but also has part of this narrative. And this is right before in the timeline of the war that Mussolini is about to introduce the racial laws in Italy, saying, yes, there are such things as races. Yes, the Italian race is better than, for example, Jewish and Africans. And so I'm going to cite a little bit of this in the poem. But the change of this poem from the novel is that the first person narrator here is actually a 5,000-year-old fertility goddess from Phrygia, who's a little bloodthirsty. So bear with me. It's so when I say I in this poem, it's not me, Hildy. It's actually Sibylle, 5,000-year-old tricky goddess. And we will go on this plane ride with Bruno Mussolini.
Okay.
So, are you ready for takeoff?
My seatbelt is buckled. I am ready.
Good, you'll need it. So the poem is called My Flight with Bruno Mussolini. I woke up from my slumber on the altar of Magna Mater. Mother of gods, I sleep between wars. Summoned by the Romans, so long since they needed me. Those who call me shall see, give me a home, I'll give you victory. 4,000 years old, never felt more alive. A female shape with a stone for a face. Never stay for too long in one place. A mechanical nightingale waved its wings, singing the song of conquest. A clear distinction must be made between East and West. The emperor's son flew too close to the sun. His father taught his boy to fly. Two hammers side by side, beating for the empire's might. He stretched out his hand to catch his father's light. I put on goggles, gloves, and helmet, boarding his Caproni plane. He took me for a flight above Rome. The clouds glistened like meringue. I stuck my finger through and licked. The Vatican looked like a dagger pointing at the river Tiber. We flew over the Basilisk San Lorenzo, a necropolis with 365 holes, a corpse a day tucked away, covered with lime and sealed against decay. 1 year later, the bones that remained moved from the hole into family tombs, and the hole used again the same day. The frescoes in St. Stefano Rotondo, Jesuit missionary martyrs bleeding out on the slaughter bench, chopped, stabbed, sliced, pierced by the black arrows of righteous Christians. The Romans fed me blood and shaved. I gave them the empire they craved. He showed me the Isola Tiberina, temple to medicine god Asclepius, hospital of Fate Bene Fratelli. The river flooded in 1870, flushing out the Jewish ghetto. His father passed racial laws in 1938, excluding Jews from the Italian race. Quote, it is important to make a clear distinction between Mediterranean peoples of Europe on the western side and the Orientals and Africans on the eastern side. The emperor's son flew too close to the sun. How was your Ethiopian conquest, my boy? Most amusing, said the 18-year-old. Clusters of Ethiopians burst open like roses when I bombed them from above. After the bomb racks were emptied, I began throwing bombs by hand. José Antonio Primo de Rivera founded the fascist Spanish phalanx. Being a rightist, like being a leftist, always means expelling from the soul half of what there is to feel. The world split between west and east. The humming river became a roaring beast. The emperor's son flew too close to the sun. In 1941, he took off from Pisa in a P-108 Bombardier prototype. The plane had problems taking flight due to a gas switch malfunction. It hit a house with its wing and fell, sending Bruno Mussolini to hell.
Mm.
The hammer fell quiet in the black space. Dead Ethiopians flickered before his face. His heart burst open like a rose. As a Roman legionnaire, he died. The gods stayed at his side. The emperor's son was missed by no one. He was laid to rest in his family crypt, and the earth shook and the rocks were split.
Mm.
Water poured in and pushed at his teeth. Skulls snapped at air they couldn't breathe. The emperor's son flew too close to the sun. You gave me blood. I gave you war. My 1,000-year reign has just begun. Mother of gods, I sleep between wars.
Mm.
You call me when you dare not call a priest. When tension rises between West and East, forgetting the fallen faces, making laws about human races,
Mm.
expelling from the soul half of what you feel and the whole used again the same day. Thank you.
Mm. Thank you. Yeah, I'm saying.
Thank you.
It's like I felt like I was transported to what is that movie with
Gladiator?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
with Russell Crowe, I know. Oh my God. There's a new one coming out soon, I think.
Yeah, that was deep, but so real and so tragic.
Mhm.
But and this is how so many nations were formed.
Mhm.
And it's like somehow this like bloodthirst and hatred and war is still going on. Like what at the 90s I thought it was gonna peter out, like that we had evolved as a human race, but it just seems to get worse. I don't know. It's just, and I don't understand. Like it's
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, all the blood that spilled, it all, no matter what color or who died, the blood was the same.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I love Donna put in the chat room. That was a very good piece! Exclamation point.
Thank you.
Yeah, two things jumped out. One, when Mussolini went to hell, Rose, you look like, yes, get him out of here. So
I carried away. I know. It's like my husband says, like, you seem very angry in this novel. I'm like, I know, but I'm trying to do something constructive with it. But when you read about all this stuff that's happened in history, it's just so hard to, to deal with it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to say something, but you do it so very well when you bring people into the piece. I felt like I was there. I'm feeling the pain and my stomach is upset.
Mm.
Just thinking about it, you painted the picture so vividly.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rose, I'm so glad that you said that because, right, Hildy, as I'm hearing you, we've learned about all of this at different levels in school and so forth, but yet learning about it factually doesn't teach us about it empathetically. And it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
And by you creating this type of narrative, it brings empathy, sympathy, and compassion into play. And that's what we need. We need the compassion because that's what moves us into action, as opposed to just head factual knowledge. Your piece now gives it a heart.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's important.
You know, Dr. Walls, the other day we had our Sisters for Harmony show. We were talking about the job of the artist. The artist has the job, the hard job, is granted this very unique place in history where we, as artists, remind the world about things. May it be painful, may it be joyous, whatever it is. But our job as artists is to remind the world. So when we use words or we use images or video, our job as artists, and this is why when I'm behind the camera, it's so personal for me, is that what am I telling the world? What am I showing the world? What am I showing people? Because even in today's world, people watch videos and stuff, and artists work more than they read papers, the newspaper. And so for us as artists, when we put like poets, when you put these words down on paper, put these words down and we put it out there, a lot of people say, wait a second, I didn't know that. Or it makes them think, and they go back and start looking at things again. So I think as artists, we have to be very mindful of what our job, what's our responsibility on this planet.
Yeah.
Some people might think this is just a hobby, but this is a very
or entertainment, right?
It's a very hard hobby. It's a very realistic hobby. It's something that when people read or people see what you're doing visually or listening to the words you're saying, it sometimes bring them back to reality that, no, this is not good. What can I do to be better? So as artists, we have a very hard job, a very special job to do. So thank you for that poem. It's very powerful.
Thank you.
And so many, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that's a very good, mission statement that you just said for artists. It's very important to carry with us. Yeah. And definitely doesn't feel like a hobby because we have so many nightmares these days about what I'm writing about. But yeah, hopefully that whatever we share, like, make people continue looking for their own information and continue looking for their own stories and.
Absolutely, because they're hiding so much from everyone nowadays. So you're bringing to the forefront things that the powers that be don't want everything to know. So then that's going to push everyone back, like you said, to do their own research.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how about all these like attempts to rewrite history? Like people say, no, Holocaust didn't actually really happen. And actually, slavery maybe wasn't so bad after all for the people involved because it made them very resilient. Like things like that are being said in the media and the news.
Yeah.
Leslie over on YouTube said that was so powerful. And Donna in the chat said it spoke to the history and then brought it forward. So much. I want to say the one of the lines that jumped out was when you said being a leftist and being a rightist, right? Is half of what there is to feel.
It's expelling from the soul half of what there is to feel. Yeah, that's an actual quote from the guy who founded fascism in Spain. Somehow, if you're going to do this, you have to like expel half of your soul. And how horrible is that?
Yeah.
It is so. I would really like to. I'm so touched about everything what is going on in our world, and of course I do have it in my poems as well and video poetry. The one which is going to Athens now, video poem, is actually about is my response to the wars which are going on in the world. And as I'm from Belgrade, Serbia, and we have passed through those, let's say, period of time, or I don't know how to say about the war, which you have just explained, like, yes, I was the one who believed that the wars were finished, okay, with the Second World War. But, when something the war was going on, like in my neighborhood, and my friends were invited to go to the army, and they were trying to escape it because it is just the politics, nobody actually wanted to kill anyone. And you can find it is so sad, and it makes me devastated. I don't know what to say. And yes, I do agree that it is our duty on the one hand, and on the other hand, if we feel the world, we just can't stay mute about it. In some way, it will come out. Our words, our thoughts, our feelings, our desperation about what is going on. I'm just like shocked. Like, how is this possible? We make such wonderful things. Like, people, let's make this agreement. Nah, a war, there is no war. Who wants to make a war? Go to the Mars. I mean, now we don't care. Just leave us alone, like, people. I mean, so thank you about this. And I would say it seems like it's a calm narrative, isn't it? Like almost factual, almost like a journalistic language, but so full with images and full of very rich, very dense. So thank you so much about this piece.
Yes.
Brother
Very,
Moja.
very, very nice.
No, I should say that I think it was after World War II they had the terminology the war to end all wars because the people who went through the war were so devastated by what they saw and the
Yeah.
pain and everything after this said the war to end all wars. But we are so far past World War II that the
Yeah.
people today don't think about that.
Yeah.
you know, they're
Yeah,
like,
they've forgotten.
yeah. So, but it's when you look at what's going on in Ukraine and in the Palestinian area, you see so many innocent people being killed, and you say, what's the results of what is the result? What is the end goal? I always think, what is the end goal? What is the end goal? Is it worth it? Because so many people are losing their life over it, and the thing is, in 100 years from now, all of us most likely won't be here. So what was the end goal? But the planet hopefully will still be here. What is the end goal of war?
Power, money.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
let's just erase the borders for the beginning. So if we are all like people nations, so there
Yeah.
maybe would need for wars. I don't know what to
Right.
say. I don't know. I really
Yeah.
don't have words.
Where can we find you on social media and support your project and also purchase that novel?
Well, it's in Norwegian. It's gonna. So I don't expect you guys to read it, but maybe one day my novels will be translated into English.
Yes.
I'll let you know. My handles are everywhere are at Hildy Susan. So it's just at Hildy Susan. That's it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on and for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
And taking us on that ride. All three of you guys took us on quite the journey.
Yes.
Very, very, very good mix of spoken word poetry and storytelling today. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Well, Rose, I have a little treat. I'm sorry, you were saying thank you. I don't want to stop the thanks. I like putting all types of thanks and gratitude out in the world. Go ahead.
Thanks to everyone who's on YouTube and Donna for chiming in and everyone who's going to show love once this broadcast goes live. Thank you
Yes.
so much for
Yes.
supporting poetry and the spoken word National Poetry Month 2024.
Yes, yes. And we have people jumping in over on Instagram and LinkedIn. So we are streaming right now and they are participating. So I figure I'm gonna flip the script here and speak to our inner child. Is that okay if I do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, and I'm going to pull up now. I'm really being technologically brave here today. So we're going to hope that it all comes together and works. So let's see. Okay, so let's see if we have it here. So this is from my, can we all see this?
Yes.
All right. So this is from my children's book series, which is The Adventures of Froggy T and Bunny, a hip hop tale. And they're called a hip hop tale because they're lyrical in nature. And so this is the very first story, which is the reunion. And I know we've talked a little bit about the visual as well. I had this one turned into an animation. So this is the animated version. So although it is a children's story, all my adults who hear them say, "Did you write this for me or did you write this for my kids?" So, all right, enjoy. Can you hear it okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I don't think I've ever had a chance to watch one of the animated episodes. I've seen the your promos,
Uh-huh.
but I haven't had time to delve in. But yeah, I'm gonna share those with my nieces, and
Oh, thank
we're gonna have
you.
Yes, I
Froggy
want to
Tea and
share it with
Bunny
mine.
time.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, yes.
So,
Oh, yes.
what was the inspiration behind that actual piece? I
Okay.
know you love music.
Yes, I do. So actually, so for my business mentor and friend, he always calls me Bunny because he says I have more energy than the Energizer Bunny. And so one year, not wanting to give him a birthday card, but something more creative, I wrote him a poem. And in the poem, I dubbed him Froggy T because his name is Thomas. And I said, "You're always hopping along with me." And as I read the poem, I said, if you flesh this out, this would really make a nice children's story, which can talk about life lessons and things like that. And so that's what I did. And just putting in there the power of importance of following your intuition, right? Bunny knows what she knows, following your heart's guidance and just trusting that God is going to direct you and have you through it all. And many times you don't know what's behind that magical door, logically, but you know intuitively that that's where you belong and that's what you're supposed to be doing and why you have to follow your heart. And so, Rose, I'm going to flip it back on you. I always talk about with you, and you have followed the word. You have been Bunny in so many ways and allowed the word to allow you to literally hop all over the world and touch people's lives. So, inspiration such as that.
Oh, that's such a beautiful story, and I knew it was something deep behind it because it always is.
But
Anything that you do, you move and you do with purpose.
yes, yes. Purpose, direction, and godly protection every step of the
Absolutely,
way. Yes. Go ahead,
every
Hildy.
step.
I just want to say I really love this moment that you're saying when she's standing in front of the door, because that's almost a bit scary.
Yes.
Because then you're like, oh, maybe this wasn't the right thing to do, and maybe I'll regret this, and what's going to happen now? And that was almost like it was scary, and I
Mm-hmm.
I really recognized that in my life when I made these decisions, and suddenly
Mm-hmm.
there's this like little moment of fear, and I thought this movie was very deep. I really wanted to show it to my nieces
Thank
and
you.
my family and everybody. It's so
Thank
moving.
you. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes, I found some life lessons up in there too. Like
Mm-hmm.
serious.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
Yeah,
so I love it.
music is one thing that no matter what language you speak, that we all understand and we all groove to and we all come together and agree on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. And it's a great way, right, to combine all of it. Eventually, right now I have four books out, the fifth, and they're all in rhyme. The fifth one will be coming out probably within the next 4 to 6 weeks. So the illustrators just sent me the copies. And so I have to review them actually later today, to make sure everything's ready to go. But yeah, to be able to teach these lessons in a way that is palatable, right, which moves it again from the head into the heart to bring the balance between the two. uh, we have a furry friend joining. They enjoy Froggy T and Bunny, Edmund.
We got the fur
We
babies.
get
Yes, Minnie enjoys Froggy Tea and Bunny.
that's right. But to be
Froggy Tea and Bunny is for everyone.
it's for every being, and that's right. We want to make sure that we're creating things that speak to each of us because we do have that diversity. And that's one thing about poetry. When we have these diverse voices, we're able to touch more people's lives. And Hildy, I love, how you referred to Edmund's statement as a mission statement for artists. I'm definitely going to go back and replay it and capture it in writing because it is a powerful mission that we all do have, and so important because again we can diversify what we're saying and how we're saying it. So in all of my books, they're in print, they're a digital audio book, with illustrations so that we can have the voiceovers and see the illustrations. And then as finances provide, then I am able to turn them into animations as well, because that gives it a different life. I know you know about turning things into film, Rose.
Yes, thanks to Piff Mommy and Piff Daddy, absolutely.
Mhm.
That girl was as a result of just seeing and being in your presence. And here we are. We're still moving. I'm actually about to start working on a new project, probably in the fall.
Excellent. Excellent. You know we're excited, and you know we are here to support you in any way that we can.
Absolutely. I already know this. It's love, always love from day one.
Hmm. Hmm. All right,
Yes,
Rose. Well, we
yes.
go ahead, Edmund. I'm
I'll
sorry.
say yes, Rose. We look forward to having you on our Kadaga series very soon.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, I'm on it now. I just got done with my event last night and no, what's next Sunday? Friday night. So now I can focus on that and a few other projects. So I'm definitely ready.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, Brother Moja, I know Rose is going to get ready to close us out. Is there anything that you would like to say before we get ready to close? We can't hear you, hon.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Just want to thank everyone for coming on and joining us and sharing their words with us. Because when we do things like this, hopefully we're making people think from a different angle. So the words, every word has a vibration, every movement have a vibration. So we come up with positive vibration from different angles. Hopefully we move the scale more to the positive instead of the
Hmm.
negative. So thank everyone for doing what you did today.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ashe.
And Brother Moja, can you just give just a quick history on GMK? What does GMK stand for and why we do it?
The GMK stands. My spiritual father was Grandmaster Cam. He took me through the initiation of a Kemetic elder, and he always told me about the power of the word. Power of the word. Be careful what you say. When you say it with meaning, because the vibrations are there when we speak it. And so he made his transition about 12 years ago.
Hmm.
When I was getting ready to do poetry stuff, I was thinking, what can I do with it? So I thought about honoring him. So we called it GMK in memory of Grandmaster Cam, because he taught me a lot about power of the word and being mindful of the words that we use and when we use those words.
Thank you.
That's so important. This power in the word can hurt, help, or heal.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Don, for coming on. Thank you, Anna, for coming on. Thank you, Hildy, for coming on. Yeah, this has been definitely food for the soul this
Hmm.
afternoon. I mean, you've taken me on quite a few poetic trips, and I totally appreciate it.
Yes.
I had another piece planned to do, but once Hildy did hers, it kind of shifted my energy. On Friday, we did Jazzatry at the Detroit Institute of Arts here in Detroit. It was a room filled to capacity with people still trying to get in.
Wow.
The love, the energy was amazing. And it was based off their regeneration exhibit, which is different films by African American filmmakers and producers from the 1920s through the present. And in connection with the exhibit, we presented Jazzatry, which focused on those types of films. And I had penned a piece a few years ago. Um, Someone that I know that's very dear to me, very astute lawyer. He millionaire, and he volunteers at a hospital as a red coat. And as the volunteer, they're forced to, they have to wear these red coats so everyone knows who they are.
Hmm.
And once he put his red coat on, it took him to a different level of understanding about people. So I penned this piece and it's called Johnny Redcoat. I'm going to read it for you guys. I was going to read it on Friday, but we ran out of time, so we had to push the show along. So I feel like I need to get it out, so I'm going to share it with you guys today.
Hmm.
Johnny
Thank
grew
you.
up on Thanks.
Sorry.
Johnny grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. played on grounds where his buddies drank from different water fountains. He winked at his first date from the front of the bus on their way to the movies. They entered the theater separately, but when the lights went down, shared a box of Good and Plenty, one large buttered popcorn, and one medium Coke with 2 straws. Johnny walked to high school every day with Ima Freeman, dropped Ima off down in the valley, then Johnny continued on up the hill. They both graduated at the top of their classes with 4.0 GPAs, applying to the same Ivy League universities. One young man received an acceptance letter. The other opened a statement of denial with no explanation. So they both decided their higher learning should occur at an HBCU. The boys became men together, graduated, then entered the workforce, each earning 6-figure salaries. Johnny, as a big shot lawyer, successfully defending several landmark civil rights cases. Ima became the first African-American physician to sit on the board of directors at a hospital. Johnny and Ima marched in Selma together, fighting side by side for equality by any means necessary. Johnny even opened the door of Woolworths for Ima to walk through with Greensboro 4. They both gave back to their communities, funding economies with large donations. Johnny never experienced life from Ima's side of the coin until 1 minute into his first volunteer hour at Ima's hospital while putting his red coat on. Johnny's elbow bumped a familiar face in a blue coat that he recognized from his yacht club. Johnny extended his hand to say hello while offering apologies, but the man in the blue coat failed to reach back, scolding Johnny for being so clumsy, then reported the incident to management as assault. Johnny asked a green coat he parked next to with a matching Bentley for directions, but was ignored. Black scrubs laughed with green and blue coats, rebuking Johnny to hell in the name of Jesus, citing an unwritten rule that lowly red coats are forbidden from socializing with higher-ups. Patients falling under Johnny's purview welcomed him with open arms, though. Pink and burgundy scrubs were more than helpful, too. While fellow redcoats reprimanded Johnny before explaining the unpublicized pecking order. Johnny's redcoat status dropped him from the upper echelon to the bottom of the totem pole. He now feels life from both sides of the street, exposed to preconceived notions that reds don't mix well with blues, greens, or blacks. He's at a crossroads where the color of a coat tells a never-ending story. Red coat on. Johnny feels Ima's pain in a world he wished never existed. Red coat off. Johnny seated back at the table with his colleagues. What color coat do you wear? Mine is a smooth reddish brown painted by both of my Choctaw grandma's hands. My coat has been used, abused, ripped apart by prejudice. It's wet with ancestral blood, stained with hatred. It is held together with mama's prayers by threads, the hem tattered with teeth marks of demonizing spirits. I pray for a few hours every week. Red coats rest on every shoulder as sympathetic garments, bringing awareness to oppression lack of privilege provides, racially, socially, mentally, physically, emotionally, monetarily, spiritually, as a reminder that fluid in every vein matches Johnny's red coat. One single rose, no stem.
I'm over here going, And then I realized my mic was on mute. Oh, all right, Brother Moji, what you have to say?
Well, I just have to say, like I said, the power of the word. We as artists have to truly understand our responsibility to tell stories. And who are we telling the story to? Who are we telling the story about? And where do we want the story to go? And what do we want to impact from that story? And so I take it very seriously, what I do as an artist, because I want to tell stories that will help change the world for a better place. So I thank Rose for what she just did, because a lot of people know the red coat, the color of the coat does not tell you what your heart is about. So when the coat covers your heart, we should remember there's a heart underneath there. And so that was a very powerful poem. Cost is one single rose, so I'm not a
I thought that thing with the code is a very powerful metaphor, or like a device for describing how we can change identities. We can go in and out of different roles and different mindsets. And if you can do it actively, you can actually use it as a tool, maybe to be more constructive in the world. So it's like an action. It's not you're not trapped in whatever identity that you've been somehow assigned at birth. You can actually help shape that to be what you want it to be. And I thought it was a very, very effective way of illustrating that with the red coat. I mean, also because it's so visual and it has this connotation of blood and passion and everything. So I thought it was a very, very powerful piece.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Powerful and very descriptive, rich in pictures. Again, it seems that it's simple but so strong. It's really powerful piece. Bravo, Rose.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Leslie over on YouTube said, "Wow, Rose."
Thank you.
Of course, she wrote that. That's my interpretation of how she sounds. Let's.
Thank you all so much.
Yes.
You know, some of these pieces that I pen, I wish that there was no need for me to actually pen them.
Yeah. Real talk. Real talk. Yes.
But thank you guys so much for the love. Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
I appreciate you from all different parts of the world. We got the West Coast, Southwest, Serbia, Philly, Detroit in the building. GMK Poetry Jam, National Poetry Month 2024 in the books. Thank you.
Yes, I think we did it right. I think we did it right.
Yes.
Well, y'all keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, your work is needed. It is impactful and it is appreciated. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. And until we meet again, as always, God bless, be well, and always live your greatest life. See you soon.
Right on.
All right, 3, 1, 3.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.